Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Super Strike event for King Vegeta. So we're going to be taking a look at the Super Strike event for King Vegeta, how you can do it, what rewards you can get, look at King Vegeta himself very briefly, and basically just take a all-round appearance at the event. Now, there's great incentive to do this event. You can get up to or over 20 stones from this event, so I do highly suggest you do it. And if you're a first time player, it's a great way to get your hands on a pretty decent unit. He's not going to be the most insane unit, but he's going to be pretty decent overall. Now, the first stage drops King Vegeta himself, the second stage drops his Awakening medals, the third stage his TUR Awakening medals, and the fourth stage drops its EZA medals. So pretty stock standard stuff. You should be quite familiar with it by now if you are a Super Strike kind of player. There is a boost for the category that is dealing with this section, and that boost is for Terrifying Conquerors units. King Vegeta himself obviously has a pretty interesting looking Extreme Z Awakening. He has Ki +4 and attack and defense of 70%, with an additional attack and defense of 10% per Pure Saiyans category ally on the team. He has a high chance of stunning the attacked enemy when all allies are in the Pure Saiyans category, and he has an additional defense of 50% and a medium chance of performing a critical hit, with another Vegeta's family category ally attacking in the same turn. He also gives Pure Saiyans and Vegeta's category allies attack and defense of 25%. He also raises defense for one turn, and he looks pretty decent overall. There are some missions, but these missions are predominantly to do with Awakening and Extreme Z Awakening, the King Vegeta unit. There are two missions that require you to use specific teams. The one condition is to use the physical King Cold Super Strike unit, and the other condition is to use 6 Terrifying Conquerors units in taking on the EZA stage. This will save you some time. It will drop the amount of times that you need to run the Extreme Z Awakening stage, stage 4, from 6 to 3. So it's a pretty decent reason to do so. In terms of the effective category, obviously Terrifying Conquerors is the boost category for this stage. So it's really not too bad. Honestly speaking, it's relatively simple, relatively straightforward, and it's quite a good time. If I can be honest. Super Strikes for me are enjoyable. I think they're done very well. The grind is not too bad, and the units themselves tend to be relatively decent. I think most of them are honestly pretty good, and I like a lot of them. Now, the interesting thing about King Vegeta is he has somewhat decent stats, and he's a pretty, interestingly built unit. He's a bit of a support, he's got stunning, he's going to be very interesting for stages like the Pure Saiyans Super Battle Road, for example. So I think overall a pretty nice looking unit. He's got a very Vegeta-esque, very distinct Vegeta family type link set, so be aware of that. Now for this first stage, what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to farm 14 copies of the King Vegeta unit. You're going to be getting 1 copy from your missions, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to train 1 copy to be 10, so to be SA10, and then you want to train a second copy to be SA5. That's for later on when you eventually Extreme Z Awaken the unit. So yeah, that's basically why you want to farm 14 copies. So it's pretty straightforward stuff. It's not really anything too distinct or too necessarily difficult. I think to consider all of it, relatively straightforward for everyone. In terms of like the overall consensus and the overall idea of how to get a Super Strike unit. So obviously you will get your units, you're going to go farm 14 copies of them. I'm going to skip ahead. I've now done that magically. I farmed 14 copies, As you can see, I've also completed some missions. You can claim those if you want to. You will see I have my 2 copies, one at SA10 and one at SA5, and it's pretty straightforward from there. So then you move on to the second stage. The second stage will give you the medals for Dokkan, awakening the unit. So you're going to Dokkan, awaken Vegeta, and you're going to obviously push him to go to level 100. Now he doesn't awaken into a TUR, he awakens into just a UR. So for a lot of people who don't quite understand, he doesn't actually fully awaken to being his full TUR unit. A TUR goes to level 120, whereas a UR unit goes to level 100. So you're now awakening him to UR state. It follows the same trend as the first stage. You want to just avoid the additional fights or the damage markers, but it's a lot more straightforward. You can auto battle this one a lot easier, so this one is relatively straightforward comparatively to the other stage, which had enemies to fight the whole way through. Now, nothing too crazy here. It is 2 phases, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the 2 phases are distinctly difficult. The 2 phases are very, very straightforward, so you're not going to have too many problems here. If you are having problems, then you're probably not the kind of player that wants to take on this event. You probably want to go summon some more or play the game a bit more. But yeah, basically it's all pretty straightforward, I would say. So for me, overall, I think most things look pretty good. Most things look fairly solid. I think in terms of this point, I think it's pretty simple. Here you're going to farm 7 medals per copy, so you need to farm in total 14 medals. You need to awaken both copies of Vegeta at this point, so you have to awaken his SA10 copy, and you're going to have to awaken his SA5 copy. So that's why you need double the medals. Very, very straightforward. Very, 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 very simple stuff. I've fast forwarded again. I've now farmed my medals. You can see I've completed more missions. The missions will give you the Bulma and Turtle medals that you'll need as well. So you don't need to go farm those. You will get those from the missions. And now you're ready to awaken the King Vegeta into his UR state. So like I said, you are going to awaken King Vegeta, and you're going to awaken his second copy. You'll have 1 copy at SA10 and 1 copy at SA5. You're then going to train the SA10 copy, and now you're going to feed in the SA5 copy. So you're going to train in this Vegeta, you're going to feed the SA5, and that is going to give you Vegeta max leveled at SA15. It's now at this point that you're then going to Dokkan awaken this unit, and you're basically going to have a pretty good time. So you first awaken him. Now he's obviously at his TUR state. At this point there are some missions. These missions are going to unlock a whole bunch of copies of SSR Vegeta. So you're going to first go collect these missions, and then from there you're going to awaken Vegeta's hidden potential system, and then you're going to generate a second 5SA copy. All of this will come from completion of the mission rewards for the event. So if you go back to the event and you go accept your mission rewards, which are here, you will get a copy of SR Vegeta or SSR Vegeta. You're then going to take this unit and you're going to go open the hidden potential of this Vegeta. So just open all 4 paths. You should have more than enough copies. You'll have 5 copies. So you're going to open all 4 paths. It doesn't matter what order, because you are going to open all of them, so you don't need to panic, but it's always bottom right for people who don't know. That's the section you always want to open first. So you're going to awaken all 4 paths of Vegeta, and then after that you're going to go back to the missions, and then you're going to be able to collect further copies of Vegeta, another 4 of them, and you can feed these copies into King Vegeta, the second copy. So you're going to feed these copies into the second copy of King Vegeta. Once you feed that into him, basically you're going to have again one copy at SA5. So there, pretty straightforward. You have pretty much the same as what you had before. You have one copy of King Vegeta at SA10 fully awakened, all hidden potential paths opened, and now you have a second copy of King Vegeta at SA5 with nothing else open. So pretty good stuff, pretty simple stuff, very, very straightforward. So then from here, what you're going to want to do is you are going to want to go back to the event, and now you're going to farm his Dokkan Awakening medals. So his Dokkan Awakening medals are very straightforward. Basically, to cut a long story short, you find King Vegeta once, and you need to farm 10 medals per copy. So you need to farm 20 medals in total. Super duper straightforward stuff. You don't really have to change anything. Again, we're going to roll with the exact same free-to-play team that we've been using this entire time, so we don't have that many problems. Yeah, we're going to have pretty straightforward stuff. Nothing too crazy. All fairly simple and easy to do. So we're going to have that. We're going to have everything else done, and we're going to be looking pretty sharp. Basically, to cut a long story short, you know, for the most part, I think it's all been fairly straightforward, and has been a fairly good kind of system, you know, in terms of like where we lie with these units. So very straightforward stuff. You're gonna take on King Vegeta here. You beat him. It's only one phase, so nothing too crazy. All really simple stuff. And then from there, you can move on to his easy A step. So overall, the Terrifying Conquerors team is just very strong for free-to-play. I think it's got a ton of great free-to-play units, which is why this Super Strike's really probably one of the easier ones to do as a free-to-play player. There's a lot of great Terrifying Conquerors free-to-play units that you can pick up, so it does make, or tend to make, your life a lot easier. So that's it when it comes to farming his Dokkan Awakening medals. Obviously, again, we're going to be doing the whole time skip thing. So you'll be able to see us skip ahead, and then we'll have Vegeta Dokkan Awakened, and then at that point, we will move on to Extreme Z Awakening him, and we'll go from there. As you can see, we've completed some more missions, so pretty straightforward stuff. Obviously, remember that you do have 2 copies of Vegeta, so you are going to need 10 medals per copy to awaken him. So make sure that you farm 20 in total. But as I said, we're going to quickly do the whole time skip thing, and yeah, basically make life a lot easier. So yeah, we obviously skipped ahead again. Very cool. And you can see that we have cleared the stage a couple times, and we now can Dokkan Awaken our copies of King Vegeta. So yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. Very simple. Once you've awakened him, you can then take on his Extreme Z Awakening stage. Yeah, I don't use him in the team, and you don't need to use him in the teams, so it's not like he's absolutely necessary to getting, you know, his Extreme Z Awakening medals. But yeah, just saying, in case you are looking at options, he's obviously a great option to use for his own Extreme Z battle. So in terms of his Extreme Z battle, it is 3 phases. So you are facing him during a pretty tough fight. I would say the Super Strike fights are a lot tougher than one might think a story event usually is. They're not like quite easy. I would probably say they're comparable to Dokkan events in difficulty, maybe a little bit harder even than a Dokkan Awakening event. You know, for the Dokkan medals, I would say they're probably on that range. But yeah, you face them in 3 phases. The first phase is a super or an extreme int phase. Then you face them on a strength phase, and then you finally face them on another int phase. So for our team, which is quite physical heavy, the int phases are not really a problem. We generally don't have a lot of difficulties taking on this stage. So yeah, pretty simple stuff. As you can see here, first phase eliminated pretty readily. Then we have the second phase, which is, sorry, AGL, not strength. Don't know why I thought it was strength. But it's an AGL phase, which also isn't necessarily too bad at all. The Terrifying Conquerors free-to-play team is very strong, so again, it's just really not too difficult to kind of take out units like Vegeta. At least for me, personally speaking, it's not too difficult. I just think you have so many Terrifying Conquerors options that really it's not a huge concern. So you shouldn't have a problem here. If you do, obviously you do. The only real restriction is that you have to use Super Physical King Cold, sorry, Extreme Physical King Cold, who's obviously another Super Strike unit. There is another variant of King Cold that you can use, but yeah, I wouldn't distinctly advise it basically. But yeah, we do more than fine. We managed to take out the AGL phase first time, which is great, and then we move on to the physical phase, or sorry, the end phase again, where our physical units are once again very strong. So yeah, pretty straightforward stuff, all relatively simple, I would say, at least on the surface level of things. Fairly simple. I would say it's not necessarily the hardest one. I think it's just because of the design of the units. Vegeta does tend to attack every slot, but it's nothing even remotely close to like a Broly or a Kumba or a Cell Max or anything like that. So this is the first time you're seeing this mechanic. It's generally only a mechanic that's a huge concern for like units that generate their defense on super, but generally speaking here, the boss doesn't hit so hard that it should be a concern. Can still be, depending on where you are in your Dokkan journey. So I don't want to say that you can't struggle or anything like that. You are obviously allowed to struggle, but generally speaking, you shouldn't have that many problems. If you've got at least some units Dokkan Awakened or some free-to-play units, you should be fine. So yeah, that's basically it for me. Obviously, that is Vegeta done, with quite a few of the missions done as well. So what I'll do now is gonna just quickly skip ahead, complete the other attempts of the stage. In total, if you do complete the missions, you will have to complete the stage a further 2 times, which I will go do now. And then we're going to Extreme Z Awaken Vegeta, and we will raise his super attack level. So as you can see, we have completed the Extreme Z Awakening stage several times, which is great. We've also completed the missions, and now the only missions left do correlate to Extreme Z Awakening Vegeta. We're going to Extreme Z Awaken our copy that is SA15, because he has the hidden potential system. It's very important that you make sure you're doing at least the one with the hidden potential system, and then we're going to feed the second copy into him, and he's going to be 20 out of 20, and done. That's literally King Vegeta, all done, sealed, and sorted. So very, very straightforward stuff, nothing too crazy at all. So yeah, that's basically it. Then you feed that copy in, and now you have Vegeta maxed out. So it was a bit of a journey, obviously, the whole way through. But as you can see, there's quite a lot of stones to get, so I think a lot of people are going to appreciate that, and most people do enjoy picking up quite a few stones. So yeah, but that's basically going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you can leave a like, or you can leave a comment if there's any parts where you're confused. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, of course, as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.